There we go.
Speakers will take audio. Okay. Hello there. We is here.
More or less.
Da 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 da. That is a catchy tune.
Any rate.
Can anyone guess what I've been playing lately?
Ahoy, all.
Arr! We be the scummy pirate scum.
No, scum is already trademarked. You can't use that word.
Only if you have two M's.
Well, yeah, but you said it orally, so you could have been spelling it with two M's.
I wasn't.
Oh, okay, fine.
I just feel scummy.
Feeling a lot less coffee than last time. There is a reason why we didn't start 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, I was busy coughing my head off and didn't want to start.
Yes. Ahoy. Yes.
Ahoy!
Yes. Happy Saturday. Happy Pirate Week.
It's Cough Like a Pirate Day, because I just trademarked that, because last Monday was Talk Like a Pirate Day. International Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Yes. I hope you all celebrated that properly.
And today is local Cough Like a Pirate Day.
And if you didn't, and the appropriate way to celebrate that was by buying a certain game by a certain rival game company that just came out.
I believe she's referring to Return to Monkey Island.
Yes. I hope you all got your copy. And
Now, a day or two before that, Mark Crow and Scott Murphy came up with the backers-only copies of Space Venture, which is their In the Spirit of Space Quest game.
Yep. So it's a good day. It's a good week for gamers of old-style adventure gamers.
Those who supported it.
Well, yes, if you supported it, if you were on Kickstarter, and I figure a lot of you probably were.
Now, those of you who are, according to this, I have 2 viewers.
Yeah, I know.
So why are we bothering? Ace and Rex and Schumann 3D Blast?
Well,
Why isn't Ace and Rex a VIP?
I don't know.
I wonder how to change that.
Pausing my RTMI to be here. Phoenix is here. Well, somebody was playing Return to Monkey Island, and I told them, if you like this game, you should try Quest for Glory or Hero U. Yes, indeed. Although we're a very different interface. The interface on...
Our hero kayaked to Monkey Island last week.
Well, cool. That's even cooler.
Lori's been watching old episodes of Survivor.
Yeah.
And they have outrigger canoe type things that they were getting around on.
Yes, but more important, there's a lot of game theory that goes on and games. So Survivor is an interesting view for somebody who comes from a game design background.
And to see what works and what doesn't work, and which parts seriously injure or kill the participants, which are probably not ideal for our game.
Yes, indeed. There were a lot of class action suits, I think.
Hello, Jacobine.
Hi there, welcome.
So did we insufficiently publicize this?
No, we published it as much as we clearly have. All right, now we have 10 viewers, see? And Jacobine subscribe. Thank you.
Thanks, Jacobine.
We really appreciate it.
2 months.
Yes. So at any rate, yes, it is a great week for pirates or pirate lovers.
I'd put on a hat, but it's too warm.
And we put on pirate hats, except that all our pirate hats went away in the move, so yeah.
And Mom's July 4th hat. We can wear
That's
that next,
not quite the same
July 4th.
thing, I don't think. Any rate, we got lovely hearts there.
Pizza hearts.
Pizza hearts, a pizza my heart. Yes.
Have another pizza in my heart.
I read a bit of game theory in university. It's all about risk, effort, and reward. Yes, and...
Well, it's also about trying to predict how people behave in a situation. And, yes, also how they should behave.
Schumann, subscribe for 15 months. Thank you.
All right. That's almost 16, says Schumann.
Yes. Okay, and there's interesting special effects. Looks like pizza pieces being
but
showered.
Before we have that, we have the pyramids.
Yes, we have the pyramids.
I'm going to have to put on glasses to examine these more closely.
Yes.
Yeah, they look like tiny small pieces.
Making pizza dough and sauce from scratch. The power is immeasurable. Yes.
Lori has made a number of homemade pizzas, and for the most part, they're really good. Once in a while, they don't quite work.
Game theory, as in John Forbes Nash Jr.'s game theory, yes, to an extent, yes. Oh, Jacobine is gifting tier 2 subs to our community. Thank you very much. Almost there, I guess. We're a hype train is close, and then we get to train. Yes.
John Forbes Nash Jr.
Game theory.
Forbes? I didn't know his name. No, he was Forbes. So Nash, as in A Beautiful Mind, came up with the idea that there are, I can't remember now, equilibrium points. That in most games of theory, that there are basically places on the graph that if player A and player B are both acting rationally, then it's going to converge on one or more points of the graph that are the equilibrium points, which he called a Nash equilibrium, or other people since then have called it that. And the idea is that once you're in one of those equilibrium points, it is really hard for either player to make a decision that might benefit them more, but could also cause them more harm.
Yes.
So that was.
Did we make a train? We train. Yeah. All right. Earth, fire, air, water, and pizza aren't really the basic elements of the world.
Oh, we have a limited time now to earn exclusive emotes.
Oh no. 79%.
That train. Level 2 is on, and 79% are on to level 2.
And Jacobine just completed Quest for Glory blindfolded.
Oh, wow.
Floppy version without patches. Except for the key puzzle, right? Yeah,
it's trying to figure out which floppy to put in when you're blindfolded.
Key puzzle is easy, except for black holes. Okay.
Quest for Glory 4 key puzzle? We're talking about the locked safe. No, that was 5. Had the ones with the dancing men.
Well.
What did 4 have?
4 had the baby.
Baby Meeps?
No, baby Antwerps in the maze. I don't know.
That's true. Oh, okay, and the key puzzle on Dr. Brain's.
Yes, the door to Cranium's lab.
Yeah, the door to Cranium's lab. You had to rearrange the pieces in order to.
You had to
make
turn the
make
maze.
The lock.
You had to yes, but you had to turn the lock.
You had to turn the key in the lock.
You had to turn the maze to get the Antwerp to go to.
Well, that was a different one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, those seems 100, yay! So, at any rate, yes, Nash and his theory and his equilibrium points, and what is the prisoner's dilemma, which everybody should know about.
Yeah, prisoner's dilemma is the idea of setting conditions so that if one prisoner rats on the other prisoner, then they get their sentence reduced. The prisoner ratted on gets their sentence increased. But if they both rat on each other, then they both get a sentence because nobody cooperated. And if neither one rats on the other, then they get a short sentence. And it turns out that basically the correct behavior is always to cooperate, always never to rat on the other prisoner. But you end up with like a year in prison if you do. So people naturally try to go with the, get a $5,000 reward and no prison, and send the other guy to jail for 15 years. But if you do that, then it's far more likely that they'll both rat on each other, and you both get 5 or 10 years in prison. So there's a lot of variations on it, but the idea is that cooperation is best. They've also done experiments with, AIs, coughing like a pirate here, in which you get to play multiple rounds against the same opponent. And they found that the correct strategy in that is to mirror your opponent's behavior. So if they cooperate, you cooperate. If they cheat you, you cheat you. But again, the best score comes from simply cooperating the whole time. Let's see. Belxar says, I think the movie A Beautiful Mind brought Nash's stories achievements more to the public consciousness Nobel Prize winner in economics in 1994. Yeah, he was working in the field of mathematics. He was not an economist, but his results became very important to economics. Now, the question in the long term could be, is it true? Or was he speaking as a naive person? As economics said during that stage, they believed that people were rational, that markets were rational, and that in the long run, people would do things in their own self-interest. Since then, we've seen, yes, as D.S.H. Idler, says people are vindictive and trusting, and they often choose the wrong strategy based on emotions.
Yes.
So if people acted rationally, the world would look very different. So.
Yeah.
So the trick is, what's your correct strategy in an irrational world?
Yeah, the best thing is to embrace chaos theory. I mean, the stock market is irrational. It is not logical. It will not really keep reverting to a nice, comfortable mean. It's always going to be up and down, and you have to take your own plans accordingly. Be ready for chaos.
Now, I worked for a short time with Chris Ferguson, who was a top poker professional, famous for wearing had long Jesus hair and wore a cowboy hat, and he kind of created his own persona. But he was also a PhD in game theory.
We got a new level 1 hype train emote.
Okay, that means we didn't make level 2 though.
Oh well.
All right, but congratulations and thank you for making level 1. Okay, well, I think we need to chew that chat.
Ah.
There's your new. Is that a Tom and Jerry type thing? I'm not sure.
I don't know what it is.
Let's sort of look at Jerry. Chris actually played poker by using strategies that he learned studying game theory at UCLA. His father was a professor of mathematics at UCLA. And most people didn't realize that because he presented himself as this, cowboy Jesus. And people thought that, he was just kind of playing by the seat of his pants. One of the rules he came up with is never call a bet. You either fold or you raise, which seemed totally terrifying to me, and I'm not sure whether that still works today, but it may be. The problem with calling a bet, at one time I played some sample hands with him, and I called from the small blind with a pretty good hand, and he ended up totally breaking me when he had 3-7 in the river, and I allowed him to play for free, and he hit the he hit the board better than I did with my pocket jacks or whatever, and I should have raised.
Oh.
So
these are important safety tips, people.
Yeah, it's important safety tips for Foster. So one of the things that I've read about in game theory for poker is that people will use like the second hand of their watch or some other method to randomize their plays. So if you think a particular play is the best play and another one is the second best play, then you will maybe give yourself a 70% chance of taking the best play and a 30% at random of doing the second best play. And that turns out to work much better because your opponent cannot totally predict what you're doing. The random factor in there makes it hard for people to play against you. But you are losing equity anytime you make the second best play, so you don't want to do it too often.
Diaz says, not it scrolls. I've always heard that if you think the world is unfair and you'd like it to be, the only rational response is to be more than fair. That works to an extent. Your attitude going into things certainly affects what a situation will be. So in the prisoner's dilemma, especially, if your attitude is they're out to cheat me, believe me, you will get cheated on. That's the problem. And so, let's see. Gotta figure out how to survive in a world full of sociopaths. Like the facts manual says, the thief is the most enlightened type because he helps others realize that life comes from not having material possessions.
Ah, I see. So he helps accomplish that for other people.
Yes, exactly.
Very sweet.
Yes, and...
Our thieves are real altruists.
Nash's work has provided insight into the factors that govern chance and decision making inside complex systems found in everyday life, per Wikipedia. Apparently, his theories and their principles have been used into a wide range of areas and disciplines, including science and ecology. Yes. The best investment is stamps.
I collected stamps as a kid, but of course, what you did when you were collecting stamps as a kid is you'd see in the back of your Boys Life magazine, whatever, an advertisement, or the inside cover. The back cover had all the novelties, but maybe the inside back cover would advertise stamps. And you would buy a set of stamps from different countries around the world. And you ended up with basically getting completely low value
Yes.
stamps. And
Yes, until somebody squirts disappearing ink on them. Philately will get you nowhere. Yes. I just got a bit of a cough myself. Good to see that you're both a cough on myself. It's good to see you're both on the mend. In theory, we are. Yes.
Lori's doing pretty well. I'm
Yeah.
doing better.
Yes.
You know, it's
He
just
got it. Yeah.
until someone squirts disappearing ink on them.
Uh-huh. So, at any rate, how many of you out there actually have played the newest Monkey Island? That's what I figured. You know, you could set up a poll. I wanted to see how many people got Space
All
Mountain.
right. So we will do a poll here while Lori keeps yakking
Yes.
while I figure out how to do a
Yes,
poll.
well, we figure out the things because we're trying to figure out how many of you people, not just return them, voting on latest games. Actually, I think they should vote on whether or not they've got.
I will do it.
Okay, fine. Well, yeah, but
Oh, option one.
option one, yeah. Let's see. Okay. Well, all right, fine. We're going to have a multiple polls here because this isn't what I was intending. Because I was just seeing if people actually got it versus space, whatever it is. Space Adventures, that's it. Yes. Oh, that's one I wanna read the lines too, yeah. Okay. So, at any rate. Okay. All right.
All right, there is the poll.
All right. So, how many of you did
We have numbers
what?
0 through 5 that you can type in to play the poll.
You could actually enter it too.
I could.
Yes.
If I can remember what the options were.
Well, it's obviously vote.
You know,
Yeah.
option 4 is in fact ambiguous. I mean, during this time period, as opposed to you're playing it during the talk.
Yes, we
'cause
don't.
We don't want to know if you're playing it during the stream.
Yes, or you could be because it's very easy to do so. Yes. Okay. Let's see. I want to catch up with the people that were actually typing while we were doing.
Okay.
All
Something
right.
about Space Venture.
Yeah, but we haven't. But we go back to this. Flatly get you nowhere. I'm interested, but have a huge game backlog, so probably wait till it's on sale. I wanted to. It's the art that's keeping me away. Well, I go with that.
I heard a lot about that.
Well, no, my personal opinion.
Oh, you don't like that?
I don't like Monkey
You
Island.
don't like the art?
I do not like the art, and we haven't told any horrible pirate jokes yet. Yes, it's just too
We
weird.
haven't even asked the one about what's a pirate's favorite letter because everyone's heard it by now.
Yes, just too weird looking to get into. And Monkey Island is still on my list of games to play. The art grows on you. Yeah, I figure once you get into it. Yeah. And Space Venture, I backed the Kickstarter a decade ago.
That's when it was.
That's when it was, yes. And if you backed it, you can get it right now. My friend
if you backed
streamed
at
it
the
after
$15
it got
level or
out.
higher, you have the game available.
Which Monkey Island game? The new one, the first one, or something in the middle? I also read disappointing reviews on the story. Are we talking Monkey Island? I
assume they're talking about Return to Monkey Island.
Or Space.
Oh, Space Venture? That's a good question.
Because I was going to talk about Space Venture as well. So we've got some, yes, to err is human, to R is pirate.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Uh-huh.
That's a good one.
Okay. I don't know. Let's see. Art indeed. Okay. The
And
C,
as
yes.
the Shidiller answered my question
Yes.
of pirate's favorite letter is the C. Arr.
And let's see. Loving how Return to Monkey Island ends. I don't know what it is. I've only played it a few hours. Corey
Okay.
only played it a few
What
hours.
did the pirate say on his 80th birthday? I matey.
Okay. Yes. Latest. Return ending not good from what I read. Yeah, you never know what people's opinions are. Why does it take a pirate so long to learn the alphabet? They keep getting stuck at sea.
Ah.
All right, shall we shut this poll and so we
Seize
can
the
get
day.
some answer?
We could. All right, closing the poll. If you haven't entered, you better do it in the next second or two.
All right.
Boom.
Yes,
We will notify chat of the winning option.
Okay.
I'm playing it now, one with 4 votes.
All right, let's look at this.
One person has finished it. Now, finishing it, it's like if you finish Hero U, it's time to play it some more.
You think that would be the same with Monkey Island?
I think so. I
Okay.
think so. I think there's a lot of paths through it.
Okay.
Now, the next question I should have asked was hard mode or easy mode.
Yeah, but
Story mode or hard
but
mode.
there's only 5 people that are playing it, so it doesn't matter.
All right, so we have 5 people that are either playing it or finished playing it. Nobody has the game and hasn't played it yet, so if you got it, you're playing it. Plan to buy it soon, 1. Maybe when it goes on sale, 2. Not planning on playing it, 1.
So Edenway says they've always had a variety of art styles on Monkey Island games. The latest game just has its own distinct style, and I'm fine with it.
And I agree with that. I've been I played through the opening section, which probably not really a spoiler. I was a little disappointed with because it takes place at Big Whoop amusement park, and that was the ending of Monkey Island 2, and I thought that was kind of a cheese ending and not a great.
In the original?
Yeah, the original Monkey Island 2.
You thought was
Ends at Big Whoop amusement park, and you know, it was all at the amusement park all along, maybe. Secret Return to Monkey Island starts at Big Whoop, and it's the kids, Guybrush and his brother.
Never mind, don't. Yeah, you're getting
Brother
too
Chucky.
You're giving too many details.
Anyway, so it's like, oh geez, and then it came with the twist a little ways through, and the twist made it especially worthwhile that I just played through that part. So,
Okay.
So yes, I rather like it. I have not finished it. I'm actually stuck in a puzzle, but I think I'll solve it by myself. I started it on the story mode at the beginning part, and then started over again on Super Adventure Gamer mode, and couldn't actually tell the difference.
Okay. Does hard mode add more puzzles? It probably doesn't.
At the beginning part, no.
Yeah.
And in fact, I missed a puzzle playing on easy mode. I went back to make sure I did that and realized, having gotten to the second part, that I missed a different puzzle that I'd already solved when I replayed it.
Arlo Hero says, maybe when it goes on sale equals maybe when I'm retired. There's no option for that.
Ah.
No. Art can be subjective. Can't please everyone. Yes, I agree.
Well, if you learn from us, you retire and then you unretire, and that's the big trend now. Is people have discovered they couldn't afford to be retired. I retired at age 28 or so because I'd always wanted to retire a millionaire by age 30, and I made it. I retired before age 30. I just wasn't a millionaire.
Yeah.
So I like to say I was 2/3 of the way there.
Edenway says, then again, I just played through Mystery House, Mission Asteroid, and The Wizard and the Princess last week, so graphics don't bother me.
Well, those were the best, though.
I prefer classic era adventure game art. I consider KQ to have ended with 6, for example.
Does that mean the Quest for Glory ended with 4 then?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yes, I need to play those. Yeah. AGI games were the best, yes.
I did not enjoy AGI games particularly.
Yes. I've also been digging deep into the weeds of 1-bit pixel art.
Black and white, in other words.
Oh, okay.
I guess, or maybe not.
I don't know, but I have. Yeah, really, huh? Chunky pixels. I'm sure I'll retire 100 air life goals. Yeah, really.
Well, Lori and I were just discussing what we wanted to do over the next 3 or 4 years, and I think she said it was either 3 games over the next 4 years or 4 games over the next 3 years. You said we're going to do. Which was it?
3 games.
3 games over the next 4 years.
Well, because I'm
She's
counting.
going to do 2, and she's expecting me to do 1.
No, I'm expecting Tilly's Tail to get out the next month.
Oh, you're counting Tilly's Tail?
I'm counting
Oh, that's
Tilly's
cheating.
Tail. That's
That
3
is
games.
so cheating.
I am telling you, being honest.
That's
Okay.
true.
Actually, ancient weavers who only had access to a limited number of colors, you combine them to create the gradients to create another. It isn't a new idea.
Cool.
No, it's really kind of, that's
Yeah,
what
and of
you
course,
do. Color theory.
newspaper,
Yes, newspaper.
use the dots for pictures and, learn that you could combine your limited numbers of colors to make color.
See why.
Having hundreds of games is why I'll retire with about $100.
I've also
But
been
that will be enough to buy another one or two.
mostly a reader. If the
Maybe
writing is
5.
good, I'm sold. Otherwise, no matter how much eye candy, if the story and the writing is poor, I won't consider it a good game.
So, I will give that review of Return to Monkey Island. The writing is excellent.
Okay.
I really like the writing in it.
Having hundreds of games, that's that sentence, yes.
I just thought that it was descriptions when you type look that gave games the most magic.
It does allow there's a lot of ability to put personality in a game when you use the look method. It's still a better rate than Space Venture. Okay, so now the question is Space Venture. How many of you, that's what I was going to say.
So that's the next one. Okay.
I was going to have this a combination.
Reset.
Yes. We'll reset this poll. How many of you have played Space Venture? I like the humor in Grim Fandango. Had me laughing in a lot of places. Grim Fandango was a really interesting game that I couldn't play. I thought it had.
I can just do it like this.
You can?
If it'll keep those options, we'll find out.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the options are
Okay.
the same.
Kept the options the same because I don't know how to change them.
Grim Fandango is a rare game that I feel gets better with each replay. All right, there we go. So do your bang vote, and let's see how many of it.
And I have to clarify when I say plan to buy it soon. That's kind of the assumption that it will be on sale soon, which it might not. But soon after it goes on sale to
Yes.
the general public.
So,
And I guess I could vote on this.
uh-huh.
Am I playing it now? Sort of. I started playing it, so therefore yes.
Okay. Not a lot of people. So remember, you have that game if you backed it in Kickstarter. You have access to
Yeah, I
it.
forgot to ask if I haven't looked at my email to find it.
Ah.
So hidden somewhere. Now I made a mistake about 2 years ago. I was having problems with my email. Stopped working for a while. I guess it was when we sold our house and moved down here. My email stopped working for a few months, and I switched a lot of stuff over to Gmail. And in particular, I switched Kickstarter over to Gmail. So when I got my project, what I've discovered with Gmail is if I run it on my phone, it works perfectly fine. But Gmail on my computer, which is where I usually look at it, it takes a thread of messages and scrunches them in some way that I can actually never tell which are the ones I've already read and which are the ones I haven't
You
seen.
can change that. I get mine in alphabet.
Okay, and I can't find my old ones.
I get that in order of arrival.
So
Yeah.
mine are, my Gmail messages are really munged, and I could not for the life of me find the link to my download for Space Venture because it was buried in amongst the 5 or so messages I got from Space Venture.
I see.
And I ended up having to find the link in my phone and copy it to my computer
What do
because
you-
I could not get Gmail to work on my computer.
Okay.
We're going to stop this?
Ace and Rex, yeah, we're going to stop that. But I was just going to catch up on the on people actually saying things.
Ace and Rex?
Yeah, Ace and Rex said they missed the Kickstarter. Somewhere.
I'm sure lots of people do. He says, I may play Space Venture if it ever goes on sale for the public. I wasn't aware of the Kickstarter, though those many years
Yes.
ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Let's stop.
Okay. That's a start. Oh. Okay. Okay. Fine. I see it changed the.
It changed from stop to start.
Okay. Fine.
Okay, we have an even distribution.
Wow.
We
except
have 0 people
have finished it.
have finished Space Venture. 1 person not planning to play it. 1 person maybe when it goes on sale. 1 plan to buy it soon after it goes on sale. 1 has the game, has not played it yet. 1 is playing it now. Oh, that's me.
Oh, yeah, you're the only one that's played it.
So I'm the only one that has actually played some of Space Venture. And I don't want to spoil it by giving too much a review, but I will say that it does not have a manual in the folder with it, and it desperately needs one.
Ah,
But
did you say that's got a website or something?
There is a walkthrough on the web that there's a link to.
Okay.
And I had to avail myself of that because there's no manual. It uses the what they call the coin interface, which when you click the right mouse, it gives you a series of options around an oval that you can pick the option you want, such as walk or look, just like in Sierra Games. And then the left button does what you picked. And first of all, I think we used that in Quest for Glory 5, maybe?
No, we didn't use that one.
Okay. We've done something similar with the Quest for Glory games. I actually, when I went back to play them, I do not like that interface. But that's just a personal thing. So we've gone with the ultra simple lately of left mouse button is do, the right mouse button is look, with the trick that our left mouse button actually brings up a text menu of things you can do. So we've actually kind of reverted more to the text age, or at least the drop-down menu age with our games.
Yeah, let's see.
But the interface has a number of complexities in Space Venture, and it's cool that you can do a lot of different things, but it's a little cumbersome that way. The puzzles are traditional, Space Quest type puzzles. It is a difficult game, and because of the interface problems and because of other problems with the game, it is hard to play. But I think it's actually a pretty good game.
All right. So,
And I've heard that if you make it to the end, which is extremely difficult, then it's extremely rewarding.
Okay. Honey Boo Boo says I'm learning of it here. We'll check it out. Arlo Hero said I was broke during the Kickstarter for the Larry remake. Wish I had money. I remember they had an option to put your name in the game and get your portrait on the wall and things like that. And Moonlily had no idea Space Adventure had been released. And, well, it isn't out yet, is it?
No.
Okay. That's 2 people here who've never heard of Space Venture and needed to add an option. Oh, yeah. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
That's
okay.
true.
So I'll tell you what Space Venture is. Back in 2012, in the Great Kickstarter Revolution, started by Tim Schafer, formerly of Grim Fandango, and he worked on Monkey Island, I think. And what's the one with the motorcycle?
Oh, yeah.
The motorcycle game from Lucas.
Yes. LucasArts. He worked for
LucasArts, yes.
LucasArts in
Anyway,
its heyday.
and later went on to found Double Fine. And
Full Throttle.
Full Throttle, thank you. And Double Fine did games like Stacking with Russian stacking dolls and some other they did a violent game.
Okay.
Anyway, so Tim Schafer started the Kickstarter in 2012 for what he called the Double Fine Adventure, and that would be...
You don't have to go through the entire history.
Most people know it already?
Yeah.
Anyway, and made vastly more money than he asked for.
So therefore...
At which point everyone else got dollar signs in their eyes, including us.
Yes.
Well, not us so much, our fans.
People did.
And people started doing Kickstarters.
Right.
Jane Jensen did a Kickstarter for multiple adventures for her Pinkerton Road studio. First one of which was Mobius. And Mark and Scott decided to do Space Venture as a sequel to Space Quest, sort of, without the name Space Quest.
We were all,
none of us had the rights to use our old games.
Rights,
except for Al Lowe, who got together with Paul Trode to do, and Josh Mandel, to redo Leisure Suit Larry 1 and remake, they called it Leisure Suit Larry 1 Reloaded, which was a remake of Leisure Suit Larry 1. Again, it's already had 2 remakes previously.
Yeah.
And we did Hero U Road to Redemption. So lots of Sierra and other people got in the 2012 Kickstarter wave, and it took us. We promised a game in 1 to 2 years, with Hero U, and it took us 5.5 years. And Mark and Scott promised a game within 1 to 2 years, and it has taken them 10 years. And arguably, they're still a long ways from the finish line. Even though they've released it to backers, it's not ready yet for prime time.
All right. Yes, the Space Ventures was just released this week, effectively, or last week in this case. Does it say when it's going to be out for public release? No, there is no official announcement at all.
And they can't announce it because right now it is not ready for Steam.
Yes.
Lack of documentation is the bane of modern end user computing, as is programs that are interfaces that are hard to use.
Yes. All right.
Belksar says agrees that lack of documentation is no good, cheap and lazy. Yeah, well, I ran into that with Tilly's Tale. We're 3 years into our 1 year or our 6 month Tilly's Tale project, and I didn't have a manual for that. Lori kept arguing that we don't really need a manual, but I said we really do, and I finally, about a few months ago, started the manual and finally finished it about 2 weeks ago. So it takes, you have to completely shift your perspective to write a game manual, and it's hard. And yes, maybe it's lazy. It's not a question of cheap. It doesn't cost anything to make a game manual.
All right.
Except time.
Yes, rather than working independently, old school Sierra authors should just pool together and create your own Yosemite Reunited company.
Well, except for the fact that, it's like the description of managing programming team is herding kittens. And the original Sierra authors are all kittens. We're all completely different personalities.
We're old cats.
We're old cats
of us
now.
Old cats, and set in our ways. Besides the fact that we live all around the world, effectively.
So if we reunited Yosemite, we'd be working with Roberta Williams, who is, like the original prima donna because, she started this whole graphic adventure game thing with Ken, and they're rich. They don't need a company. They don't need the rest of us. Then you'd have Jim Walls, who's the crufty former police officer, and
we don't
totally
have to
different personality.
Yes.
Al Lowe, every one of us is a different personality, living in different situations, and any one of us that didn't get their work done, all the rest of us would get mad at.
Yeah, Moon Lily says she's glad to hear that Space Adventures finally got released. Yes,
released to backers anyway. Yes, so yes.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about that.
And those are lack of document causes frustration, which drives away consumers. Yes, indeed. It depends on how easy to difficult it is to figure things out. Or in newer games, there's sort of a tutorial mode. Yes, that's what you can do with it.
I am currently stuck in Space Venture with something that I went through the tutorial and read in the tutorial how to do. And then I read through the comments from people, and someone said they had to leave and re-enter that room 3 times. And the 4th time, it finally reset to the correct state that they can do it.
So that's a big bug.
That's a big bug if that's true. But I also have to say I'm a terrible adventure game player. So the fact that I am stuck in adventure game puzzles does not mean
reflect upon the puzzle
that there's anything wrong with the puzzle.
Yeah.
And I get stuck in most adventure games. Secret of Monkey Island was one of the few adventure games that Lori and I played together, completed, and loved.
Yes, Larry started out as sophomore. Larry had 4 remakes. And hi, Rich.
Well, did the so Softborn Adventure, Leisure Suit Larry 1, VGA version of Leisure Suit Larry 1, and Leisure Suit Larry Reloaded, I think. So that's original and 3 remakes is the way I counted it.
Interesting. Back down there, and saying Space Adventure is a reasonable beta. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's adventure. If you like really tough adventure games, it is that.
First time chat. Any plan on Steam Deck support?
In theory, we've heard from several fans that Hero U runs beautifully on Steam Deck.
So yeah.
And that Quest for Glory runs very well on Steam Deck.
So yes. So we will have Steam Deck support more or less.
Nothing we have to do for it.
Right.
Steam ensures that they have compatibility with basically Windows software. Belixar says, "Yay, manual for Tilly's Tale." Well, thank you. It's I don't know if it's a good manual, but it's
It's not the fax
if any-
manuals, as the next line is. Fax manuals were the best. Yes, exactly. The fax manuals were designed to be character and thing.
Yeah, and in fact, the first pass through it, and one of the reasons it sat there for 3 months, is I told Lori, well, it's kind of done, but it's really boring.
Yeah.
And then I wrote a little one paragraph introduction from the headmaster, and Lori said, well, why don't you expand that? Do more with that. And so I made a few paragraphs from the headmaster, and that's more in character and a little more fun, but I didn't make the rest of the manual fun. The rest of it's functional.
Yeah, we went functional with it because it didn't need much. Moon Lily asks, you can understand
Cough like
Space Adventure wanting to get it out, but is it a good idea to release it even limited if it's not really ready?
Yes, absolutely.
It was a good idea to release it to the fans. That was a great idea because you guys have been waiting for it.
And in fact, if they never release it to the public, if they decide it just won't sell,
Yeah.
by releasing it to the fans, they have met the obligation to their backers.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing. If you do a Kickstarter, you are promising to the backers you're going to do something for them, and you better damn well do it.
Yeah. Molly Metroid has yet resubscribed for 17 years. That's impressive. And Molly just says, popping in to say hi for me and my boyfriend. He's visiting me. Congratulations. Have
Hi,
fun.
boyfriend Molly.
Yes. Yes. Have a great time. I believe skipping on producing a manual allows developers to lose perspective on their project and allows suits to exploit the ambiguity in for their nefarious purposes. Just my 2 cents.
Okay, so with Quest for Glory 4, Sierra did not want to spend any money on a manual. And we said we wanted 2 manuals. We wanted the technical game manual and the Famous Adventurer Correspondence School manual. What do we call it? The General Job Adjusting. Was that 4 or 3?
That was 4.
That was 4. Okay. And they said, we're not going to spend the money on that. And so then we got quotes on it. And of course, the thing is, the General Job Adjusting is full color, and the other one is cheap black and white on plain paper.
And so then we're going to combine them into one book.
And we got the quote on combining them into one book, and it was 50% more expensive than doing the 2 separately.
So therefore we got our
Therefore, we got our 2 books.
Yes, we had to fight for books, for those manuals, but we really believed in them because they were an extension of the game, yes. Yes, and yes, it's better if the game goes out when it's truly ready. It doesn't, we don't want to...
Well, but no game is ever truly ready.
Yeah, but there's a difference between
All right.
not quite ready for public and...
Should we have held Quest for Glory 4 for another 6 months to a year until it was done?
Oh, yeah.
I kind of think we should have.
4 should have been. There was no doubt on that one. It wasn't. They didn't program it, so, what can you say? So we're directly experienced with shipping a game before its time, yeah.
Our little hero asks the $20,000 question.
Okay.
But first you were...
Yeah, we haven't gotten here, yes. I'm glad to see that something is finally out, but better if it doesn't go out until everyone.
Yeah, I think that's a good compromise.
And Moon Lily says, I agree. Wasn't that the issue with Cyberpunk a few years ago? And the backlash wasn't pretty.
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 was a disaster. It went out in a state that people said it should never have gone out. It's not ready. And you basically destroy all of your goodwill.
Right. Whereas if you're going out to backers directly, you're still going to get a lot of bad will from it. The comments about Space Venture were brutal.
The one recently was, I think it's Grand Theft Auto 5 or something like that,
Really?
GTA 5. Yeah,
that one got bad reviews.
It got leaked. The game got leaked before it was done.
And people are furious.
And people are furious at what they're seeing in the leaks is not good enough. And there was a terrific Control-Alt-Delete comic about that. Let me see if I can find that.
So they're bitching about a game that shouldn't have been out there.
This is the one.
Okay. Oh, that one, yeah. You were going to share that one.
Okay, I am going to share this desktop. This is a Control-Delete comic, cad-comic.com, highly recommended. And one says,
I'm building a new house. We're about half done.
"Whoa, that's awesome! I want to see."
What some people apparently think half done means.
Nice! I can't wait to see the other half.
When they see what half done actually means.
Damn, it looks like shit. That wood look is so dated. You're gonna have a hard time keeping heat in there with no windows. You're gonna get wet when it rains. What kind of animal doesn't have a toilet? So this is a half-done computer game. It does not look like a finished, polished game that doesn't have all the sections. Now, in practice, we try to, or at least when we were with big corporations, we tried to make demos for like E3 and stuff, where you would make what they called a vertical slice of the game. You would make one very small section of the game that was polished to final polish level. And we hated those. As developers, we hated making those because each of those demos took 3 to 4 months out of the game development just to make the demo that could have been spent there doing the building it up in layers that we did for the rest of the game.
Yeah. So Arlo Hero says, what do you think causes all the delays in releasing the fan-based project? I remember the Hero U game needed to be rewritten a couple of times. Maybe you just need a good project manager and some agile.
All we needed was a good project.
No.
Wait. I got a funny thing.
All right, say your funny thing.
All we needed was a good project manager, some agile, and a $5 million budget.
No, that doesn't work. Because we can go to Quest for Glory 5. We had a good manager. We had
Agile development.
We
had the $5 million budget, except it started out with.
Yeah, but we had the virtual $5 million budget, and it was 2 years overdue, and its budget overran, and we had to rewrite the game 3 times, which was the same thing we wound up doing with Road
And we had
to Redemption.
two different engines, both developed in-house.
So the problem isn't that those things. It's the fact is we have to be adaptive to what the situation is, and that's why we got a game out. It's because we were willing to take risks,
keep working on it until it was done.
Change gears, and start over, and keep going till it was finished. And that, the fact is, both Space Venture and our game, Road to Redemption, ran into the same problems trying to use a game engine that didn't work initially. We wanted to look like, the original Quest for Glory games and the original Space Quest games. We wanted 2D to work, and we could not get it to work. We couldn't find the engine.
Yeah, it turned out that Unity is very bad at 2D.
I don't
it's
think
probably
they
better
were
now.
using a different one, weren't they?
No, they were using
Unity.
Unity.
They were Unity, and they ran
We
into
both
the
started
same
with
problem.
Unity. We both tried to make a 2D game in Unity. We both discovered Unity was designed for 3D.
Yeah.
And did not work very well for 2D. And we tried doing a 2D overlay on top of Unity and sort of got it to work, and it wasn't good enough.
We all went through the same problems. And so, therefore, it's not so simple as...
And the exact same thing happened with Quest for Glory 5, King's Quest 8 or 7, 7 or 8, I think it was 8, and the Gabriel Knight that was being done at the time, Gabriel Knight 3. So, each of those in 3 different locations in Sierra.
Totally different management crews, totally different people, wound up in the same problem.
Reinventing the same wheel.
Yeah.
Each one made their own custom 3D engine instead of sharing it. And each one of them had massive cost overruns and so on. And
Frostbeard the Dwarf, was the Hero you made in Unity? Yes. Did you have the problems that the two guys did?
Absolutely.
Yes. We had to make the same decision that they did to go to 3D because it could not work the 2D the way we needed to do it.
And of course, it isn't just as simple as go to 3D. It's making the assets. It's getting the mechanism that they added in the middle project to work. So we had to switch to that in the middle of the project. And finding all the problems with one of the ones we had was if you said something like light the fire or something like that, we had you kneel down in front of the fireplace, and in one of the rooms of the game we had 3 fireplaces in the game. In one of the rooms of the game locked up when you did that, because the animation sequence of kneeling down interfered with some pixel of the fireplace and caused the whole game to freeze. So you never know when you're going to get all those little things. That's what game is made up of, tens of thousands of little things like that.
Yeah. All right. Cyberpunk had been publicly delayed a number of times, so when they finally got something out, it had rough edges, and from what I heard with the latest patches, it's a pretty good game. Yeah, the problem is that you get the reviews off of when it released, and you get all those negative reviews. You got people panning it, and boy, the internet is vicious. And so you may never make your money back after all that. Corey, please make sure you get all those hairballs out.
I am turning into a cat.
Yes. Yes, gonna go eat dinner. Good, Rich. Have fun as you lurk. The trick to the manuals is to immerse them in the game. Remember the Larry 3 manual where every page was like half functional, half immersing? Or remember how even the functional Sierra manuals compared playing the games to watching a movie, and you'd have sections like living in this crazy world. The Larry 1 manual had an introduction to who Larry was, and then the rest of the game, the rest of it was functional but had fun titles. The trick you need is to make it fun. Well, that and the fact that in our game of Tilly's Tale, the Summer Days series, is there's an in-game manual that is part of the world. So this is why we really didn't need a Yes, the whole journal is really a manual.
Unfortunately, you can only see the journal at night in your room.
Yes.
And that you're already through a day of the game before you discover it.
Well, yes, but it doesn't actually give you rules of how to behave.
And it's quite possible to go through the entire game without ever seeing it.
Well, yes, but since that's the way of a
Other
game,
than that, yeah.
You can't. I mean, do you?
So no, I don't consider the journal to be a manual at all.
Well, it is. It's the game manual from the game point of view.
There's no instructions in it.
No, but it's information that you would get from the
who the backers are, who the other characters are, not much else.
It also tells you who. Well, all right, fine.
It's mostly credits.
It's mostly credits. Well, it's who the other characters are and what's your relationship, who you know.
Well, that's important. Yeah.
Yeah. So it does have a lot of information. Okay. I love game accompaniments that add to the lore and world building as well as behind the scenes.
I was going to speak to our little hero though.
Okay.
So the trick to manuals is to immerse in the game. Trick is to be funny. And as a wag once wrote, death is easy, comedy is hard. Yeah. All it takes is to be funny. And it's really, really hard to be funny.
Yes.
And especially when you're up against deadlines, you're overdrawn at the bank, you're over budget by $1 million on your $100,000 original budget and stuff like that, then it gets really hard to be funny.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been dealing with, caregiving for my mom and getting old and getting sick and all these other things. Any of these is a real distraction from being funny.
Yeah. Quest for Glory 4 was my favorite. Yes, it was the best manual we made. Did issues with the Quest for Glory 4 bugs help with the extended release for Quest for Glory 5?
I would say not in the least related.
The whole 5 was its own game altogether.
Quest for Glory 5 was a totally different entity.
Different company effectively at that time and all its own problems. So, yeah.
So, immediately after Quest for Glory 4 shipped, or maybe before, Sierra basically broke up. They fired, they laid off half the company. They moved half the company up to Bellevue, Washington. They kept a small section of it back in Oakhurst. And at that point, the Oakhurst branch was trying to decide what to do. Meanwhile, there was a massive letter-writing campaign from fans, and Christiana, who does the Quest for More Glory website, was one of the people that got lots and lots of people to write by snail mail into Sierra. And so they had these thousands of letters saying, you've got to make Quest for Glory 5, you've got to finish this series, which they didn't much care about. But other than the fact that they're always looking to an indication of, is this game we want to make, will it have a market?
Yeah.
So that suggests that maybe there was at least somewhat of a market for it.
Yeah. We don't have to.
So anyway, they basically rebuilt the company
Yes.
At that point, and at some point they came to Lori and me and said, do you want to do some consulting for us? And well, we can't promise you anything, but maybe we'll make Quest for Glory 5 if you do. Uh, and I said no. Lori said yes. And that's why she became the one in charge of Quest for Glory 5, and I was off in the periphery.
Yeah. And it was, there were only like a few people left from the original Sierra at that point. I mean, Terry Robinson was there.
Wasn't Doug Oldfield still there?
No, I don't think so. I think he was gone. So I mean, there was like 5 people from this original Sierra at that point. All right, and Jacobine says, I know this won't ever happen, but how would you guys approach remaking Quest for Glory? By having Activision come to us and say, we need you to do this, which is what they did with Quest for Glory 5, effectively.
I answer a lot of questions in Quora, and one of the questions was, well, I've written this script for a game, and how would I go finding a
Publisher,
a good publisher for it that or a developer that that I can trust, won't steal my ideas and stuff like that. And my answer was, you're doing this in the wrong order. First, you get the deal with the developer, and then you write the script to their specs, not to yours.
Yes.
So, if Activision came to us to make a new Quest for Glory, then the first question is, well, what do they really want? Do they want us to remake the original series, or do they want us to make a new series? Do they insist that it will be done in a certain way? But let's say they gave us carte blanche to make a new Quest for Glory series, then we would probably go with our plan that we had 20 years ago, 25 years ago, of switching over to the Orient and doing games set in India, China, Japan, and so on, and making a new set of characters, and a game that has the vibe of Quest for Glory, but is in completely new locations.
Yes.
It would not be the original hero, just like Return to Monkey Island had to deal with Guybrush Threepwood, who's now 30 years older than he was. And,
well, only if you allow that time to pass.
Yes.
I mean, games can be any time. So, let's see. Grand Theft Auto was released. It was due to it being a half-baked cake right now, yes. And I don't know why they're so upset about the leak. The videos are nothing special. You wouldn't know they were Grand Theft Auto 6 unless somebody told you. Yeah, it just doesn't stop the internet from yakking about how horrible it is.
In fact, if the game's absolutely perfect,
yeah,
and they do beautiful videos of it, people will still find things to complain about.
When I was a kid, there was a new house being built with these odd wings off the side, and it looked like new rooms were being built. Nope. The house just had these odd wings, which sort of looked like an extra wall. Hi, Cosmic Void 3. Welcome. Frostbeard says, why did you go with the 3D art in Quest for Glory 5 instead of the look of the previous games? Because that was the way of the universe at that point.
So there was actually a big technical meeting that I was invited to, and the system programming staff at Sierra, and we said basically, if we're going to do make a new engine for Quest for Glory 5 and presumably other adventure games, what should we do? Should we use the SCI engine? Does it have enough life left in it to do another game? When we really we burst the seams on it in Quest for Glory 4. We had to make changes to the engine and found all the areas in which it wasn't big enough for a game that big, and stuff like that. And our conclusion was that the world was going 3D. We wanted to do a new engine. We were going to make a 3D engine, and we were going to do it in C++, which was part of the problem was, how do you hire an SCI programmer when the only SCI programmers in the world are ones that have already
been
written an SCI game.
From Sierra.
Been fired by Sierra.
Yes.
So you can hire a C++ programmer.
So, yes, and besides, all the games then were 3D. So, it wasn't really a choice. We had to go 3D. You did Agile in 99. The Agile Manifesto wasn't written until 2001.
Well, actually, we started the game in 96, I believe.
But you could say we had Agile. We were doing Agile from game one, i.e., the programmers, the artists were working with us directly, giving us art the day that people wanted it.
Yeah, we did scrums. Lori did for each week on Quest for Glory 2, made a timeline just for that week of what each developer was going to do and how they dovetailed. It was all done with just-in-time development to make sure that we had enough art for the programmers to work with, that she had written enough specifications for the artists and the programmers to work with.
Yes,
so
and we were all
yes,
working
we were
in
using,
tandem because I was writing the game even as we were working on it. So yes.
So in 1990, we used agile techniques, and they worked damn well, considering the fact that Quest for Glory 1 was written in 10 months, and Quest for Glory 2 was developed in 11 months. And nowadays, those same games would take 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. So no, we didn't actually use the Agile Manifesto, but we did it. The basic.
We did not use waterfall development.
Right.
Nothing was ever. We never went back to anything and refined it.
Yes.
It was basically.
It
was done.
Yeah. I remember Corey saying something about the art of the buildings in Spielberg. Original EGA version, and I'm thinking it's too cartoonish and pink, but being happy enough to continue with it. Am I remembering that wrong, or is it a true story? My original design spec for the Heroes Quest game had drawings of that main street that I had done in colored pencil.
Yeah, so she wasn't actually using crayon. I actually did my first D&D module in crayon.
But I was using
she used colored pencil. She's a more sophisticated artist than I am.
And so when we brought that there, they gave the first artist we had as our main artist basically copied my design almost verbatim, colors and all. And so therefore it did look a little bit cartoony.
Yeah, I think he was a high school senior or had just gotten out of high school, and he basically copied what she did. And we didn't want her to copy what she did. We wanted to use that as the layout and design,
yeah,
and have an artist do art.
Yes.
So
but yes.
So it was. What can we say when they've given us exactly what we showed that we wanted?
Yes. Yeah.
Or what they
And
thought.
Eden Way said, "I'm guessing 3D was the rage in video games in the later '90s." Yes.
It was. First, they went through the period of full motion video.
Oh yeah.
And that was the world. Everything was going to be. Everybody wanted to. They saw that Hollywood films were successful by the standards. That Hollywood films made a lot of money, and so they wanted to imitate Hollywood. And so that having live actors, and full motion video was the way to go. And there was a period of that until they discovered that every game that did that way was an absolute market flop.
Yeah.
And the next one was 3D because that gives you more realism and stuff, and people wanted that.
And Hello Hero says, maybe you just demand perfection from your games. I'm pretty sure Sierra would have just released a game that locks up when you sit in front of the fireplace. Well, let's look at Quest for Glory 4 when it released initially, and you couldn't even get past the waterfall effectively.
Well, even the remake, the game tends to crash when you're going down the slimy rocks.
So yeah, Sierra
and
quality
particularly
control.
There's also unknowns because part of the problem with older Sierra games, and this is why people use ScumVM and DOSBox to run them, is that on modern computers that are 1,000 times faster than the computers back then, the games weren't designed to run on that, and you find all kinds of bugs in the games that you couldn't find when Tandy 1000 was our standard. Tandy 1000, Tandy 2000 that. We had to make the game run at as close as we could get to 10 frames a second. That was the holy grail back then. And now 10 frames a second would be a horror. 60 frames a second is the minimum.
All right. So Frostbeard says, if you need an engine to make 2D games in the future, I highly recommend
Godot.
Godot, yeah.
Godot engine.
He's made games with it, and it's very user-friendly and free. Well, right now, honestly, while we were making Transolar, while we were doing Road to Redemption, they upgraded Unity. It's possible right now Unity is perfectly fine. We could have, made the game we needed to make initially.
It is big and complicated, but there are a lot of Unity engineers out there, and a lot of artists that are used to working with Unity.
And the truth is that Summer Days is a 2D game, and it does have some animation, but Unity can handle it. So we went retro with the Summer Days series, and we are using 2D art. Wow, didn't know Christiana went back that far. She's like a member of your family. She
Absolutely.
is. honestly, we would not have had Quest for Glory 5 if it wasn't for Christiana. Have you read Ken Williams' new book?
I don't know. Does he have a new book?
No,
I read Ken Williams' book.
Yes.
Actually, I read the Old and the New and the grounds that I read the first draft.
Yes, he got to read the first draft.
And then I went back and skimmed through the new sections. He greatly improved it in the final draft, and it's eye-opening.
Yeah. Eden Way says, I can understand how after the mid-90s Sierra was a totally different entity. The company I work for has gone through a few acquisitions, mergers, and so many of the people I first worked with have left now. Yeah, and Sierra went through its fair share of acquisitions and mergers.
And in fact, before we were there in the 80s, Sierra went bankrupt.
Yes, so
when the console market collapsed and they had this warehouse full of console games that they weren't allowed to return. They weren't allowed to return the shells of the cartridges, yeah, and they couldn't sell the cartridges, so they lost millions of dollars on that. And Al Lowe really got his restart because he had helped with some of the earlier games while he was a school teacher. And Ken Williams basically asked if he would be willing to make a game completely on spec for royalties and nothing up front. And pretty much everyone else who worked at Sierra said an FW.
So therefore,
And
Al Lowe
Al
is
said,
the reason
I'll do that.
There was a Sierra.
Yeah. And Al Lowe also was a workaholic who was able to get it done.
Yeah.
Which most of us are not workaholics, even though we sometimes simulate one.
I posted the Talk Spot show that was recorded after Sierra laid off all its developers. You guys called in at one point. Okay. I think this was after Quest for Glory 5 came out. Well, that's a different destruction of the game. Yeah. If it's after 5 was when Yosemite Entertainment, the whole...
Well, it's when all of Sierra collapsed.
All of Sierra collapsed. But
the
one after 4 was the one where only our division essentially disintegrated. About the only adventure game in the later 90s that I can think of that was in 2D and not full motion video 3D was Curse of Monkey Island with the cell animation look. Yeah,
which is one of the things we were trying to do earlier, was trying to emulate Disney.
Yeah. I'm amazed that Return to Monkey Island seemed to be developed relatively quickly, maybe 2 years, unless it's been under construction for longer, but
it's hard to say about that, but I have a feeling that's exactly what happened, and that they basically had a semi-unlimited budget thrown at them by Disney and Lucas. In addition, we're talking Ron Gilbert, who has a number of successful games, and he really is a self-starter. Ron was much more key to Lucas than we were to Sierra, so he worked on the programming and started on the programming side of things before going into the design side. So he really is, and he helped create the Scum engine for Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
So when it came time to make his own engine for Thimbleweed Park, he knew exactly what to do.
You might say trying to play the early 90s Sierra games in the late 90s, early 2000s had all of those fun speed glitches.
Yep.
Yes, turbo and slow-mo to the rescue. But DOSBox and Scum VM are blessings to play the old games. Yes, indeed. Adventure Game Studios' way is very good for making adventure games, and I don't know why we didn't. It wasn't robust enough to make Road to Redemption, we felt, when we were trying to do that initially.
Yeah, we felt that Adventure Game Studio was fine for making traditional adventure games, but the huge amount of flags and variables so on that we use, plus all the role-playing systems that we have overlaid on top of the adventure game engine, we didn't think Adventure Game Studio would be able to handle all that.
Yeah, so that's why we did not go with it initially.
So, the fact that we're not making straight adventure games, never have.
The other thing is they don't actually do the animation. We didn't have an animation mechanism. We tried several different programs to animate the 2D stuff, and it all looked like crap. And we
it's also a question of personnel. We could not find 2D animators.
Right. Mm-hmm. Would the copyrights on the Quest for Glory series expire soon if you wanted to redo them? They almost expired 10 years ago. We were watching.
Yeah, we were watching like a hawk to see if we could snap them up.
Yeah.
And Schumann says, thanks to Disney, copyrights basically never expire.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Yep. That's changing potentially. Ah, yes. It's too long and deprives markets of more better works of art. Yeah.
So we and other people that we've talked to have talked to Sierra Activision multiple times to see if they could license Quest for Glory in order to either do a remake or make a new game in the Quest for Glory setting. And basically, the last time this happened was about the time that Sierra was working with the Odd Gentleman to do the King's Quest, new versions of King's Quest. At that point, they were trying to see which of their older licenses that they had that they could take advantage of to make new games. And so they said, no, we want to keep hold of this. We don't want to license it because if we license it and you do a bad job, you kill our IP.
Well, let's put it this way. Activision is run by a management that having Microsoft come and take over the company sounded like a blessing.
It sounded like a big improvement in management.
It sounded like an improvement. So you know that Blizzard Activision management is totally F word, you know.
They're extremely hit driven, and their definition of a hit is not ours.
Yes.
So in the 90s, 100,000 units sold of a game was a mega hit. And today, 1 million copies is a failure.
Yes.
By the standards of those companies. Now, we have not come anywhere close to even 50,000 copies with Hero U, and it definitely is a market failure by the standards of any company that's actually trying to make money. So we're not likely to be acquired anytime soon.
Yeah.
But
so don't expect Microsoft
Blizzard killed
to
Heroes of
probably...
the Storm, which is a very popular product because it wasn't a hundreds of millions of dollars popular project.
Yep. So, at any rate, it's not going to be likely that anything changes in that sense.
I have a phone call that's
You
probably
could.
fake.
That could be fake.
Hello.
We'll find
it's
out.
fake.
Ah, okay, good.
That's pretty much all the phone calls
So,
we get are
yes.
caught by.
Yes, Disney
Dogs.
does have a lock on copyright, and so therefore I'm not thinking we will ever get Quest for Glory back as a...
They have no real incentive to. I mean, we could not afford to pay what, anything that would make a difference to Activision. We'd have to offer, $5 or $10 million for them to even blink.
both to pay attention, yeah.
And maybe $50 million for them to actually think, oh, that's worth doing.
Right.
And whereas we might be able to offer $5,000, and we'd take a loss doing that. So, ain't gonna happen. We're not gonna get Quest for Glory, but they could decide at some point that look how successful Return to Monkey Island is. Let's bring back some of these games, and let's bring back the original authors.
All right, I'm going to start another poll.
Another poll. This poll is Colossal Cave 3D, which is still in development. So answers 4 and 5 are going to be difficult to say. And now the question is, you could possibly say number 5 if you already finished the original Colossal Cave, but maybe that's sort of cheating.
That's cheating, and besides, it would mean you'd give 2 answers. So the question is, you'll have to answer verbally. Thank you for voting. Yes.
First time chatty. Shadon.
Yeah.
Shibup. Shadon. Would I vote a 2 or a 3?
I don't know. Yeah, we just used the same poll, so therefore they're not appropriate. And if you've not heard about it, is there anybody here who's never...
Yeah, we should have added that.
Yes, should have added that one. If you haven't heard about it, let us know, because heard, yeah. Anything about Colossal Cave? Because Facebook is really good at getting that. I saw more ads for that game out on Facebook.
Nope.
I will get it now. Hadn't heard until now. So there's somebody who hadn't heard about it. Yes. I was able to test Colossal Cave in VR at PAX. Yes. So some people did get a chance to see it. I'll probably stick to Switch. I felt a little dizzy through it. Yeah. That's going to be a problem. Last time
I doubt I would play it in VR. I'd be so sick.
Last time I talked about my travel experiences, you said you didn't have the money to travel the world. How did you manage to so accurately capture the spirit of travel and adventure if you haven't done it? That, where we grew up in adventure all the time. It was called a book. We grew up with books, believe me, in all the fantasy worlds and all those distant lands and things like
we
that.
read the Three Musketeers and were thrust back into that period
so
of
therefore,
England.
believe me, we did research on everything that we wrote about. We did a lot of
We
research.
visited Middle Earth.
Yeah. All right, so let's
Moons
go back
Barsoom.
to...
Whatever.
I didn't mean to change the subject. No, that's okay. We'll go now to find out the results of, our little mini poll. Stop. We want to notify people. Yes. And so, poll closed. And it
the
says...
winning option is plan to buy it soon with 8 votes.
All right. So, people... Yes.
People are very interested in
Yes.
Colossal Cave Adventure.
And...
So, Roberta likes to say that Colossal Cave was the perfect adventure game, that it was brilliantly written and brilliant puzzles and so on, and it was awfully darn good.
Yeah, it was the first game I ever played on a computer.
It was the first adventure game I played.
Well, all
Not
right.
the first computer game. No.
All right, I have to say we had handheld computers that played the Pong kind of games and things like that. But the first one with an honest-to-God homebrew computer was Corey's computer.
Lorelei.
And
Which is a S100 bus, ZAD based.
And I was playing...
CPM.
And I had no clue what a game was on a computer. So
And I said, here, try this thing. So she was visiting me. I think I had to go off to work or something.
you did. You went to work, and I had to. And I sat there and tried not to be terrified by this thing, and try not to destroy it too while I was working on it, because it was a interesting thing. So yes, it was the first game I ever played.
And it's really easy to say that, oh, don't worry, you can't destroy a computer. But I managed to destroy my brother's TRS-80 color computer, the Coco.
And trying to get a disc in and out of his open
8-inch disc drive.
Disc drive. That was where I was really worried. And so yeah. But it was an interesting concept of how a game should be made. Yes.
So I went through the decision whether to go to build my own CPM system or to buy an Apple II. And my two decision factors in that is Apple II hooked up to a TV. I didn't own a TV set. And my brother had a S100 bus CPM computer that he had built, and I could steal his software, which we called sharing at that point. Nobody ever considered there was such a thing as owning software. And so I went with the being able to share stuff with my brother. And if I'd gotten the Apple II back then, we might have gotten into the computer games several years earlier than we did, and it would have been completely different.
Yes, if we had not started when we did at Sierra, we would not be here today.
Because we would have made some different game, and we would have burned out much sooner.
Yes, we would have done something different. We would have done arcade games, because that was the only thing that was really viable at that point in time, and so the world.
What about Wizardry? We would have made something like Wizardry.
We could have done that. It's not clear, but it wouldn't be the same. That's definite. Okay, so why don't we play a game? Did you set it up?
Sure, pick one.
Okay, let's see which one's called. Oh yeah, let's do this one.
Okay, we're going to go to the desktop. We're going to set up a queue, which needs to be cleared.
Oh God, if this works this time, it's been
works,
really flaky.
Queuing has been flaky, but we are going to open a queue for Find a Phrase, also known as Phrase Flummox Herb. Thanks to Cheeseness, Valiant Cheese, who created the tool for this based on Lori's spec. It looks a little like this.
Yes.
So we are going to set up a game which looks like that. I wonder if it'll fit bigger. Not really.
You have to go downward.
It'll be this size. You are to guess this phrase by guessing letters. I'm going to open the queue. Here we go. Type !play to join the queue.
No, it's not working right.
Are those all the old people?
Yep, just brought back every old person, except that it put Schumann at 0, who is correct, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Okay, so they've broken the system here. So,
All right, we're going to break this. We're going to do it free for all.
yes, so yeah, Schumann and Belzar get to be first. All right, Schumann, give us 2 letters that you think will be on here. This is basically the match game, except that we let you have vowels.
He wants a Q and a Z. Is
And
there a Q?
There is no Q. Is there a Z? Because
There's
generous.
no Z. We're generous.
We cleared out.
Okay,
2 letters.
Belzar, pick some letters.
Yes, Belzar, and then next will be Honey Boo Boo. Belzar, what 2 letters do you want to find in here? X and Y.
Ah, we're going with
Oh,
the...
you got Z.
There is a Y.
But he said X, and you typed a Z.
No, I typed X and then I typed Y. That's why X is there.
It's a now. Okay, fine. It redid.
It's alphabetical.
Oh, okay, fine. All right.
All right, so
We have
far,
a
4
Y.
letters guessed. Only 1 of them exists. It's Honey Boo Boo's turn. G and E.
G and E.
Those are both in there.
Yes,
Honey Boo Boo
congratulations.
goes again.
If you want to play, just put your name up, play, and we will let
Or
you.
just give us a couple letters.
Yeah.
We'll
So,
take free for all.
We can take free for all if you want to just.
Chaos is good because it goes faster.
Yeah, so give us some
So if
letters.
everybody gives us 2 letters,
L and M.
this will go fast.
Ooh,
No M.
No M. That's
No
it.
M,
All right,
anyone else
Belzar,
play.
just give us some letters.
All right, anybody, give us letters.
Give us letters. Let's see how fast we can clear the board and figure out what this is.
And an R.
And an R.
Both there.
Yes.
Henri.
O and V. Ooh.
Not a V. Nary a V.
No. Huh. Okay.
EE for our low hero.
E.
That's generally safe.
That's usually the safest you can go. O and V.
HU, I did the OV.
Okay. H and U.
H and U, both there.
S and A.
SA.
All right. We have our first word.
You have an entire word, yes.
Congratulations. Now let's get the rest of these words.
Many more letters, please.
Jacoby. Yes.
CD.
CD.
Okay, there are no
No
D's,
D's.
and the only C is way down here. So there's almost 4 more places where a C could fit. B and T. No
Yep.
B's.
Wow.
I managed to come up with a phrase that only used a few letters, as opposed
Yes.
to most of mine use all of them.
Uh-huh.
I, K, out of order.
Uh-huh.
O, there's an O. F and G, no F's.
Wow.
And where there's a second G, so there's no B's, D's, F's, M's, Q's, V's, X, or Z's
Uh-huh.
in
Interesting.
this phrase.
All right. Let's
I'm
see.
chewing on Ricola, which actually seems to work for a change.
J and W.
J. No J's. There is a W.
All right. And I and J.
Well, there won't be a J, but we could try another I. There was an I.
O and L.
O, L. Both there.
All right. We have a second word. Maybe people can think of a
I'll bet I can guess the third word
third
from that.
word. Yeah.
All right. P and an E.
Yep.
You got those. K and B.
All right.
There are no B's.
Interesting. But we can start to see words forming here. Yes.
And you might be able to guess what that next word is by the theme of this talk.
Maybe.
But only if you're really clever.
Yes. So
All right, let's get some more letters.
Let's get some more letters. We're only halfway through this phrase.
What's that? Third of the way.
Yeah.
A-O. Oh, we have a word, and it is the theme of the talk.
Uh-huh.
Cough like a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
Arr.
Uh-huh.
Clear your throat like a pirate. A-N-O. So there, however, that O is third to last letters. There's probably not a lot more O's in there. At most 2.
Cuckoo-ca-choo.
That's what I said, at most 2.
Yeah. Okay, come on, people. H and
H-K. H-K. Those are both there.
Wow, K's got 3 instances of
There are
K.
3 K's so far. There might be more, might not.
Yeah. You wouldn't think K was that common. But yours can start to.
At some point, somebody needs to guess what this phrase is.
Yes, that's the key. That's what you're trying to do, is guess the whole phrase.
A and B. There's
Okay.
A, but there never were any B's.
Okay.
T and A
You're correct.
from a chorus line.
Ah.
You look like a pirate, what?
Okay. And there's extra credit if you can figure out where this phrase comes from. Yes. So, what the phrase is and who
And it
said
may not be obvious.
and what was the game, if it is a game. 31 viewers. All right,
31
come
viewers.
on. You come on, people.
Well, that's a lot better than 2 we started with.
Let's
We're
start
improving.
getting-
Hooray.
if you- 31 viewers.
Let's get some of those, every one of those 31
those
viewers to type 2 letters.
Lurkers to
No
add
lurking
letters.
here. Let's type in some letters.
Yes, if you're at your keyboard, assuming you are. N and I.
N and I, both there.
And L and L.
L and L. L, L. Lori
You
and
got
Lori.
that? Yes.
You have 2 L's. All in one word. And that's one of the hardest words in here, so you're making great progress. T-I. Have we run out of I's? No, there's an I somewhere. Oh, there's a new I at the end of the second line.
T and A.
T and A.
T's are really popular letters.
Oh, you have another word.
Okay.
You look like a pirate what's taking a galleon.
Yeah. Okay.
Period.
MH.
M-H. No M's.
Okay.
No more H's.
No
We're out of
more
H's.
Okay. First one to actually give us the phrase will win this game. Let's see.
I-S.
Ribbons of distinction. Yes, I win. Yes, L and N.
L and N.
L. Yep.
N?
N is there
Both
too.
there.
Yep. Keep going.
Okay.
We're getting there. Slowly.
And words are not
reveal-
necessarily words, which makes it a little tougher.
Yeah,
'cause-
yeah, well, okay. But then if it's pirates, you can't have good
yeah,
grammar.
pirate dialect. Oh, there are no more N's. You've exhausted the N's. There were 3 of them.
Okay, and then an A and A.
N-A and an A and T.
Yes.
A-A-A-T. All of those.
I remember Larry 2 had a Wheel of Fortune scene in it too. This game must really have been shit back then.
Oh, it was very popular.
Oh, God, yeah.
Vanna White.
Boy, it was so popular. It was the biggest game show on television.
R-K. Or as we like to think of this as being more like a hangman. A grin like that is a
S&S?
S&S. Somebody should be able to figure out this phrase soon. S-S.
You look like a pirate what's taking a galleon.
A grin like that is a... Nobody's got it. We're stumping him, Lori. We're going to win.
Yeah,
you and I are going to win.
Yeah, so...
We
Wheel-
get the prize if
Wheel
nobody
of
guesses
Fortune
this.
was even on prime time. It was that popular.
N. No more N's. Ran out of N's. No more G's.
No more G's.
Ran
We're
out of
running
G's.
out of letters. You know what the pirate's favorite letter in the thing is? Well, you know, it'd be the C.
The dating game, that was the other one.
The dating game?
Okay, it'd be the C. Is there a C? No more C's. You ran out of C's.
Did we use it?
R. R. No R.
No R. Okay. Did we use up all the R's? So... Wow. No, there's still a possible... Oh, no. It
No,
says
all the
yes,
R's you use up.
A and E. What? You...
A. Oh, you ran out of A's. No more A's.
Okay, let's
9
see.
A's total.
Shadon says,
the
you
letter
look
says-
like a pirate what's taken a galleon. A grin like that is a little
Suspicious.
suspicious.
I don't remember it. Was that the answer?
Well, you should know it. You're the one that typed it in.
I did, but
All right.
it looks like it fits. L-I-T-T-L-E. Suspicious. That might be the answer.
Well,
Let's reveal it and find
yeah.
out. You got it!
it.
And, oh, we were supposed to ask
Yes,
who said
I
it.
said it. Who said it? and
Okay,
what game
quick,
it
who
was.
said it?
Yeah, really.
It was Quest for Glory 5. It was Orestes.
All right, congratulations.
There was a follow-up to that. The grin like that is a little suspicious. I don't have a period after that because that was actually mid-sentence. I didn't want to make it any longer.
Yeah. What is the pirate's favorite film?
It's a plunderful life.
Ah, that's a great one. Okay, let's see. Yes, it is probable. All right, so we have a new winner. Shadon said it. Okay. Man, you guys remember this game well. Okay, please.
So, Shadon is the winner?
Yes, Shadon is the winner.
Hooray! So, Shadon, I will have you send an email message if you still have access to such old things
Primitive
to
things.
support at hero-u dot
Yes, Princess Bride. Well, it's my favorite.
You will
yes.
send an email to that saying that you're shit on and that you would like a fabulous prize, and we will give you a choice of several game keys that we are donating or the other people have donated.
Yes. So yeah, congratulations. And that's the thing. And Orestes was a former pirate in Quest for Glory 5.
But he's more of a thief or a rogue.
Well,
at
he
this point.
was effectively the chief thief.
Was he chief thief? Okay.
Yes, effectively. I don't remember he had.
It was it was when we're talking robbery, I think was the rest of the
Yes.
phrase, and I didn't think that made any sense, so
Okay.
I trimmed it.
Okay. The best day to win anything. Congratulations, yes, that you have won on the Talk Like a Pirate contest.
The Cough Like a Pirate Day.
Yes, the Cough Like a Pirate Day. What did he come after the Silmarillion? I mean, I think he went into retirement after that. I mean, he made money.
Was he one-armed?
I can't
Was he the
remember.
one-armed man?
No, I think he had one eye, but I don't remember. Happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, yeah.
Happy birthday, Shadon. So what birthday did I come up with, Reese? It was the something anniversary of the something.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Honestly,
There's a lot of them going on all the time.
there is. Every day, there's somebody's birthday, you know?
So
Trying to keep track
you
of
have
things, I guess.
solved the puzzle. Congratulations. We can come back to the
Cool.
camera. Have we got anything left to say, or we could play another game?
We could play another game, but let's give it a few minutes between.
A few minutes between games, especially with
'cause-
the queue not working.
Yeah, with the queue not working. Sigh.
That's what you get for using someone else's software.
Especially when it's free.
Yep.
Yeah. Free
So we are
software
wearing
is-
today the.
Yeah, I thought that was ironic. We don't actually look at each other when we get dressed, so we both picked the same t-shirt.
Yeah, I haven't worn this one in a long time. This is the original. This is the first Hero U T-shirt, and this shows the heroes standing on a mound of are they corpses or just?
Well, it was
Anyway,
the idea. And
he's in the caves and he's surrounded by wraiths or something coming in towards him, and it's they're being completely overwhelmed. Original artwork was black and white. Lori added the red to it, and I think it makes it a little harder to read, unfortunately, but give it some color.
I found an apple that my parents brought home after apple picking. It was a huge act. I decided to take the challenge. It was too much for me. Alas.
All right, what do we think is the punchline?
I don't know. I wore that shirt to PAX. Oh, you got your picture with Ken and Roberta? That's awesome!
Thank you.
Was it an apple too? Yeah.
And then when we were living in Sunnyvale, we had a roommate for a while that was a guy I worked with, and he brought home one of the very first Macintoshes. And I started fiddling with that, and they had the Mac Paint on it, or I think it was Mac Paint, and I started sketching something and said, I feel like, if I practice in this, I could actually learn how to draw. And that's something that I never felt in real life because there's no consequences to drawing on a computer screen when you've got erasers and undo and stuff like that. Whereas on paper, you screw it up originally, which you always do as a beginning artist. And how many pieces of paper you got?
Wow, but there's
It was
nothing.
a softball-sized apple.
Yes, but
I've
there's
had apples like
nothing
that.
like apples that are really fresh. What kind of variety was the apple? Because apples are so many different varieties and so many different flavors.
It was
I
one
was-
off a tree.
Yeah, it was. I
So
looked at
the grapefruit-sized apple.
somebody had a list of all the apple names going from tart to sweet, and they had a Macintosh down at the tart end, and they had a wine sap down at the tart end, and it's like, wait a second, wine saps aren't particularly tart. They're very spicy, so you really need another.
You really need several
you need,
scales.
Yes, you need scales. You need axes.
Mushier versus
Yes,
firmer.
right. Because a good apple is firm and not mushy, and it is not a red delicious.
And it's a question of the skin of the apple, how tough it is versus.
So yeah,
And whether it's shiny and smooth or whether it's rougher.
yeah,
apples
they're
are-
the
there's
smooth.
quite a-
Smooth tends to be, things.
Honeycrisp.
Honeycrisp is the best apple. Discussion closed.
Honeycrisps are good.
They did say that Honeycrisp is like fifth from the sweetest. I thought that was an interesting thing. They said Fuji.
Yeah,
were the
Lori's a big fan of
sweetest.
Fuji.
Yeah, I use Fuji for most things because I can cook with it. I mean, it's a versatile apple, and but they put Fuji as the sweetest, and I wouldn't have done
Well,
that.
let's find out what Yahoo search says.
What Yahoo says.
Best apple for eating.
Yeah.
And the answer is completely unreadable, probably.
Yes.
Uh,
Arkansas black apples.
Sweet apples are great for snacks, family desserts, and balancing. Tart apples, if you're a sucker for food that makes you.
Autumn gala.
According to a dietitian,
Well, you don't.
we don't know
so
we
yeah.
don't care what the actual
We don't,
answers
yes,
are.
we don't. We're just saying who's what got.
It's
Granny
all
Smith's
personal, but Honeycrisp are very good, and they were super popular a few years ago.
Pink
And
ladies
a
are,
few years before that, nobody had ever heard of them.
and Granny Smiths are the best cooking apple. For,
Yeah, they're great for cooking.
yeah.
Pink Lady.
Whatever kind you like. Yeah, pink ladies are pretty good. I haven't eaten too many of those, but yeah.
My brother
Fresh
was a big
cherries in the
fan
spring,
of
peaches
Dutch
in
apple
the
pie.
summer, and apples in the fall. Yeah, it's too late for peaches now. If you find a peach, it's probably going on the.
Peaches in the summertime, apples in the fall. If I don't have the girl I love, I'll have no girl at all. Shady Grove.
Yep. I love Macintosh apples. Yeah. Well, my favorite was wine saps because they were spicy, but you can't get wine saps around here.
Brayburn, tart, lightly sweet.
Yeah, we don't get Brayburn, and we don't get
get
Cameo,
Cameo,
and
we
we
don't
don't
get Cortland, we don't get any of the ones
so
on that list.
Any of the ones there, but of
Autumn
course,
Gala.
I'm living in California. Well, Oakhurst used to
Gala
be.
apples are pretty good.
Oakhurst used to be an apple area. There were like 7 different groves of apples, and one just down the street
Yeah,
from
we had
me,
an apple
one
ranch.
up on the.
Yeah, we had an apple
2
ranch
of
like a
them up
mile
on-
or two from us.
Yeah, 2 of them above us, off of.
Roundhouse Road.
Not Roundhouse Road. The one was off of Roundhouse Road, but the 2 up above, which were on the main the road to Bass Lake up above us, there were 2 orchards, and one
that's
by
right.
one.
Oh, that's right. There was one at right on Highway 41.
Yeah, you did start this apple conversation, yes. And we used to have an apple carnival, street fair type thing at Bass Lake every
And
year.
they used to say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, which implies that apples are very healthy for you. An apple for the teacher.
Yeah. But unfortunately, slowly, one by one, they all went out of business. I don't think there's any apples left, partially because they were requiring new laws about how you had to have different pasteurizing the apple juice and things like that. So now I don't think there's any apple orchards left that are commercial in Oakhurst, and they were just semi-commercial at best at the time. So we watched that.
But it was
fade
fun
away.
fun visiting them and having our son run around through there and stuff. So
Yep.
apple a day keeps the doctor away if you throw it far enough.
I see.
It's a penny for your thoughts. Penny saved is penny earned, so no apples there.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. If you throw it hard enough. Ah, yes.
Oh, okay.
What's up with Macintosh? It's a Scottish surname, but their logo is a rainbow-colored apple instead of the Macintosh coat of arms. Yeah, well, yeah.
By the way, Phoenix, I'm an expert of that, of telling a joke and screwing up the punchline.
Yeah. Okay. So,
And I have no comedic timing.
none whatsoever.
Oh, we have another game, though.
We do.
This one is called Magic Match It. And I don't think we're going to try and use the cue. Since
No, we aren't.
on this one, actually, I should not bring it up yet.
No,
since
silly.
sometimes
One
Okay.
time out of 10.
if I move it to the other screen, it does it.
Ah, is that it? Okay.
Okay, so one card covered. I'll have to make myself smaller. Video capture
Or
device
take
is
us off. Take
is
us off.
unlocked.
You could.
All right. I will hide us.
We are hidden now. Yeah.
Okay, this is the Magic Match It. And people at completely randomly are going to give me 2 coordinates, such as A1, C5.
Or B3 and C4.
Or B3 and 4C.
Yeah.
He's trying to confuse us.
Uh-huh.
B3 and 4C.
That's Gerhardt and Aeolus.
They do not match.
And
so we are playing the match game here. And each time you reveal 2 matching cards, we're going to reveal part of a scrambled picture underneath.
Bed of Joy. I'm grocery shopping before Ian.
Ah.
Best Coles. Well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate that. Have fun. My mom used to tell me an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and I'd always say, but what if I get sick or injured? I need the doctor.
A1, D6.
A1,
Esme.
Esme. D6.
Joel Cairo.
Okay. Guess I got my answer to the question about the love game.
And there's a D1 and A6.
I guess you did. I don't know at this point.
Is it a love game?
The dating game.
Up!
Up!
Mr. Turk.
You got
Here's
the
your turn.
Turk. You lose a turn, and Turk glares at us for the rest.
But if someone else finds a Turk, they'll also lose their turn, but they will reveal the squares underneath.
Yes. So let's see. Who else wants to try and get some of these things
All
done?
right, who's our Turk finding expert?
Yeah.
Belixar was the first.
Must
OSU
be because
is-
OSU
Ah.
isn't here. Yes. Yes.
All right, let's get some other things.
B2.
Okay, B2. That
It's
is
Gregor.
Gregor. And what would you like to match with that, Phoenix?
Since you don't know, anything random.
Unfortunately, there is a 5 to 10 second lag between whatever we say and when people hear it,
So that explains things.
which explains why it takes
All right,
people a little while to do things.
C3.
C3.
And that is Sylvia. They do not match, and so we keep this board, and all we have revealed is Turk. Okay, anybody can play. Just give us some
So we have
coordinates.
Featherstone Hall, which is actually, Lori was informed by someone who's pronounced Fanshawe.
Yes. Anybody can play, and we want to get this.
And you all should.
Yes.
Okay, B1 and C6.
B1.
Oh, we got the other Turk.
You found Turk, and now we
The
reveal
good news is you revealed part of the puzzle by doing that.
2 pieces of the puzzle.
Okay, so you're trying to figure out what is the scene, who is in it, what game is it from?
Okay, so let's see. Okay. Schumann says C3, B4. C3. Sylvia.
And that is
Wait a
Mortuary.
second. B4. Was that B4? Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Okay. Yes, they did
And
not
we have
match.
an A6 and B6.
A6. Yeah, I would do it that way personally. Sylvia.
there's
and
another Mortuary.
Mortuary.
So if somebody remembers that, can match a
Now
Mortuary.
match a mortuary if you're the first one to match the mortuary. A3 and C3. A3 is Sean. C3 is
Yeah.
Sylvia.
Nope, that wasn't correct.
Okay. All right, let's see. What else have we got? My memory is no good. Yeah, well, notice we're not playing.
Yeah, we're old people. We're allowed to lose our memory with old age.
Uh-huh.
B4 and B6.
B4.
2, 3, 4.
Mortuary.
B6. You have the
Is
double Mortuary.
and you can go
Okay,
again.
Belixar,
We
remember the
We
Mortuaries.
reveal 2 more pieces of this puzzle. And can you figure out what the picture is underneath? Because that's the name of this game. To figure
I thought
out.
the name of the game was Magic Match It.
Okay. Oh, I was about to get mortuary wrong too. Okay.
Excellent. I
Yes.
can't see my thumbs so because I hit us.
Yes, so well. It's about the sign. All right, B3, C3. B3.
We could forbid people to take
Gerhard?
D6 and then we could bring our pictures back up.
And no, that doesn't work. And Sylvia, so they didn't match. Can I say yes? All right, people. Let's get some more answers here. And
Sure, you can say anything you want,
Yes.
but you might help somebody else to win.
Yes, and
But that's okay because
yeah,
it's all about having fun.
it's in
Hero
Hero.
You. It's Sean fighting the sea monster with Katie and the zombies. I'd say that's nearly correct.
Yeah.
I'd give it to him personally.
All right, we'll give it to him. I mean, we.
It actually is the zombie pirates fighting the sea monsters while Sean and Katie look on.
But it is, yes. And Katie isn't in the picture, which is the only reason
Boom.
I. I would.
There's no Katie.
There's no Katie, but
Sean talks to Katie in the scene,
yes.
so therefore he's correct.
Yes, there you
Because
have
I went
it.
through the dialogue
in
for
Pirates Cove. Congratulations, Phoenix, you won. Yes, I.
And that was quite a sea monster JP
That
did
was.
for us.
It was a wonderful.
It was amazing. It's the tentacle monster, we call it.
Yes. Sean does fight here a little bit. Well, we did it mostly in video.
Or in text, wasn't it?
No, we actually had
Was there a
this
video?
animated. We had this scene
I
animated.
wonder if we could find that. Probably
Well,
not.
it wasn't very good. I mean, it was a little blurry, so our special effects were not always the highest. You're going to try and find it? I don't know where.
Sure, let's see.
Yeah, you got your screen showing, so we don't actually.
Didn't want to show us that.
All right,
It's
scary
secrets.
looking monster Phoenix, you won, and therefore you should get hold of us at support at Hero U.
Well, people can get an idea. Hero U. There we go. Hero U. There's a video. There's also an art. So it might be an art. It might be in video. Look at all the stuff we go through in the course of making a stinking little game. Promo video. Sea Caves promo video.
No, I think it was a promo video for the Sea Caves.
I don't know. Here's a movie.
All right, what is this movie?
I
It's
don't know.
not showing very well.
Well, it's thinking about
It's
it.
thinking about it. Okay, fine.
There we go.
Which movie? Oh, this is just showing how we moved in the
Oh,
Sea
this
Caves.
is how movement worked.
Yes, yeah, the Sea Caves. So that was that. Yeah.
So this was a test that.
Well, thank you, people, for actually putting
That are-
down the support. Yeah.
Our programmer, Joshua, had the same initials as JP. So it was
Yeah.
Joshua Paul Smith
Yeah.
in New Zealand made for us to show.
Yes,
how
what do
fun
I
this is.
say? My name is Phoenix. Yes, and with your email number so we can get hold
Yeah.
of you is the real
Yeah,
key
support at
Okay.
hero-u.net
there. Here,
because we didn't have .com at the time.
Yes, we did not. So let's
So
see.
go back to, it's probably under art.
It probably is, but it's probably
Go back a couple levels. Give it the up arrow or the back arrow.
back arrow. Okay.
Clips for trailer, promo video, intro.
There's so many things on art. You should.
Go to artwork. I could change off the screen.
You
but
could
that's okay.
change off this
But
screen
this is
because it's
just
going to take a.
this is here just to show you how much stuff goes into a game. Vignette movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's probably in vignette movies. There it is. Yes.
It's the only one we have.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, we
Did
did.
you double click it?
I tried. Yes. Now it's
There we go.
coming up. Okay, fine. This is the
Do,
exciting
do,
movie.
do. Oh, so nice music.
This is your exciting reward for figuring out.
Well, they've already cut off the end of a tentacle. Maybe
Yeah.
Sean did that with his sharp sword.
Could be.
Here he's propping open the mouth
Actually,
with
this
a.
looks a lot better
with a
than I
spar.
remember it.
Well, maybe they compressed it and putting it into the game.
Well, yeah, it got compressed in the game was the problem.
So Sean is doing a leadership role, which is stand back and.
Okay. Sadan
and
says he
encourage
has
them.
to go. Well, yes. Thank you for doing it. We have 10 minutes left, so we're not going too much. But yes, change the at to at and dot to do. Yes, that is an email
Dot
if
to
you
a
do
dot.
it right. Yes.
Yes, it's
But thank you
support
for
at
John.
hero-u.net.
Welcome. Thank you for winning. Yeah, we really appreciate it.
And then what will happen is I'll send you back a list of what game keys we still have left, and you will choose one of them.
Yes. So you can play.
We occasionally have sent out things like art prints and stuff like that, and getting rid of some of our art collection accumulated over, 50 years ago into conventions. But the problem is that a lot of our fans are out of the U.S. and it costs like $40 or $50 to ship them something, and we don't make much money doing this. Twitch does actually send us about $50 or $100 a month for doing these. So
Yeah. So we do actually get something from this.
yeah, I can make I can buy
We make
coffee.
what is it? If it's $50.
I can buy I can.
If it's $50, we're doing
That
this
was-
twice a month, and there's two of us, and we're running for 4 hours effectively. So we're
then-
making.
That's okay. So 5 hours total. That's not too bad. 5 hours, two of us. So that's 10 man hours. Gives us about $10 an hour.
Okay. We're
That's,
making
that's
better.
almost minimum wage.
Yeah. Our next
Stream. Oh,
stream will be in October. Welcome to fall, everybody. I hope you live somewhere where fall is meaningful.
October 8.
October 8.
10/8.
Yes, and we will have a fall theme of something.
10/8 was somebody's birthday, and 10/14 is another friend's birthday.
Yeah.
We're really bad at that. We're not very social.
Yeah. Fall colors, yes. I love fall. It's my favorite time of year. So, therefore, we will fall into fall. I hope you all have a happy autumn. Yeah.
I could, let's see, I don't know if I can show any of Return to Monkey Island, because then somebody will come up with a DMCA
Right.
violation.
But you could show the beginning of it, can't you?
Maybe not.
Return to Monkey Island is a thing there.
Right here. Oh,
Yeah.
let's see what happens if I click on that.
Desktop. If you haven't gotten
This
your...
is for fair use. We're showing a game that has been released and that you all might want to buy. And it says, ready to launch, view updates, play game.
So if you
It's
haven't
on the wrong
seen
screen.
it yet... oh, yeah, so they can't see it, can they?
And settings, video.
On full screen. Okay, so you can move it back to the screen they can see it on. There we go. So you haven't played it yet? Here we go. It didn't have an opening movie, though.
Back. Oh, it probably might have originally.
Did
Actually,
you guys fight
it is
Broggy?
an opening movie in the middle of
Everyone's
it.
crossed-
Wait, here's a video.
I don't know that we went
Oh,
so
no, that's the
far as
settings.
to fight Broggy. We were really kind of lousy in Heroine's Quest. That was a tough fight. Yes, we did a live stream with it.
There's the credits.
So let's all be
It's really all about
thrilled
the music.
in it. Yes.
Ron Gilbert of Terrible Toybacks, signed by Ron Gilbert and Dave Grossman, who co-designed the original Secret of Monkey Island.
So yeah, pretty fun.
Ron gives a lot of the credit to
Only
Dave.
on hard mode. We did not play hard mode. Let's put it this way.
And you can escape out of it. That's good. Load game. I have several save games.
So congratulations, people. Browdy.
I'm gonna spoil it.
Was off of the credits that you could get it. All right. So any rate.
Hey,
yeah.
Dad.
You're spoiling this, Corey. Get out of it.
All right.
That's a
but
spoil
it's so cool.
it. It's spoiling
Oh,
it.
it's spoiled now.
What is it doing? Okay. Okay, but any rate, if you haven't gotten Monkey Island...
Anyway, so the key to it is that part 1 is actually in the middle of the game.
Okay, fine, but yeah.
Oh, I think I can use the dot key.
You've got a thing there to get it. Oh, look, though, they
I
have...
have no control.
You don't have that...
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of talking in this game.
Uh-huh. Yes, that's it. Okay, quick.
Okay.
That man is still
So that
on.
is a tiny
I
bit
don't
of...
know. We've done some spoilers for that. Going to have to definitely wait for retirement to play this game now. Yeah.
Anyway, so that gives you an idea of what the graphical look is, what the characters look like, and so on.
Nice font.
I think
mean,
they're perfectly
it's really
fine.
colorful. I mean, the clever use of the way they did the menu systems. This is a really, really crisp looking professional game.
Yes, very professional.
So much more than what we've done. So, I mean, I feel like, wow.
We do our best.
Yeah.
I probably have a space venture around here somewhere.
You should. Where did your space venture go?
Down Star Wars: The Old Republic.
House of Da
Heroes of
Vinci.
the Storm.
Let's see. I don't see a thing for it. Oh well. So we will not show off.
But it's got to be here. Well, I know where it is anyway. It's in.
Downloads.
It is on a drive under games. Space Venture.
Okay.
EXE.
So this is special. Zamatra says, "Good afternoon. I've been playing for it a bit, and it is a great game. A great example that Quest for Glory could have had a chance if brought back. Yeah.
Okay, we will put it on the right display.
All right. So this
Fastest graphics
this
quality.
is Space Venture. If you haven't seen it yet, this is that. It's very cool. First graphics. Start new game.
Yep. And it zooms in towards you as you click Start New Game.
That is a very, very nice graphic, and
Nice
I have
logo.
to say, yeah.
We need a better logo. We need a.
You need a fancy. And look at that ship. 3D
Yeah,
ship.
this is much like where we have a fly-in over the city and the castle. So.
Yeah.
That's kind
That's
of.
a cool looking ship. So
This
all
is
in
the
all,
Deep Space Research Station Nostradamus, which is a reference to the space station Nostromo from Alien
yes,
and Nostradamus.
yeah. So wordplay there.
So they have video.
They do.
And here comes a flying Galaxy Router van.
Going into a lock. Ah, okay. And there you have
This
it.
is
So if you have
Ace Hardway or Hardaway.
hardware.
Hardway or Hardaway.
Oh, okay, fine.
Can't turn them around.
So if you have not seen this
wait.
game, if you don't,
There we go.
Terribly
This is-
sorry, but we're not taking any deliveries today, my good fellow. You see, we're having a bit of a situation here. So please do come back tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Until then.
Yeah, I'm Ace Hardway, Galaxy Router. Let me guess, you're the facility manager, right?
Oh, splendid.
Yeah, blame it.
Oh, yes.
Security lockdown override initiative.
Security.
Oh, yes, that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we have to figure out how to do this, and there are clues on here.
and so yeah, there's your first puzzle.
Like
So
there's
at any rate, if you haven't, if you are a backer on this game in Kickstarter, then
you have this available to
have
you.
this available, and you can play this game.
Anyway, right mouse button brings up
so
the
there's
coin
their
interface.
interface. Okay.
So I can walk, hand, look, and so on. Toolbox. And my PDA.
Ah, that's
We are currently updating Mother. Currently updating the backer cards for supporters. The app shopper, router control, and so on.
Is the guy smoking in a space station?
Probably.
I was thinking that it's that he's got a thing in his mouth.
Oh, it's like a toothpick.
Toothpick.
Actually, it looks like a match.
It does.
He's just cool, you know.
He's cool. Yeah, like a rotor-rooter guy would be.
So that's a little bit of the introduction to Space Venture. It is very challenging puzzles, much harder than Return to Monkey Island so far. It starts out right from the beginning with some, basically manipulating the environment puzzles. So it really uses the 3D.
He's trying to blow everybody up. Yes. Well, it's always wise to smoke around space stations and porta potties. So, at any rate, well, thank you all for showing up for us. We were happy to do yet another
stream,
stream.
and I am gradually getting better.
Yeah,
Even if I am kind of orange, I look a bit like Trump, don't I?
No, not at all. Thank
isn't
you.
it?
It's just our color scheme here.
And, the fact there isn't much light back here.
May the wind be in your sails. Yes, that's a good, appropriate pirate metaphor. Yeah.
May the road rise up to meet you.
Thanks again, Coles. Have a great weekend and shivering the timbers and,
And
buckling
our
your swash.
swashes.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a little complexities in life going on currently, but in a way, it's actually giving us a little more time. I'm going to be writing. So you may all be wondering if many of you are backers of Summer Days Tilly's Tale. I am going to be writing a Kickstarter update soon. I have been for about the last 6 months saying we're just about to release that. And each time we play a new build, and there is something that's just a game-stopping thing in it. So I played through a different path of the game, and I found out there's a place at which you have no choices.
Yep. So we have to figure out how to get around.
We're doing
those things.
workarounds for that. So we have the game is basically has been written for 2 years, and it's now a matter of refining it. So part of the question is, why do these games take so long? Is that if we had a team of 10 or 20 QA engineers, working on playing through it and giving us reports, and a team of 5 or 10 software engineers fixing all the problems as soon as they come in, instead of the one part-time software engineer we have, then games would come out sooner.
Yep. But as it is, it'll come out fairly soon.
Yeah, it's the game's done, but we have found some things that were missing that we were intending to write that didn't get written, so we need to make it work regardless of that. And then Lori will immediately go into writing
Feo's Adventure.
Summer Days of Feo's Adventure with the wizard character of Feo.
Yes, and then we will go into Sammy's story. So we've got the 3 games lined up.
And vaguely sort of working on some concepts for my game, Puzzleworthy.
Yep. So figured Corey was doing the software engineering.
Yeah, well, what happened was Shannara. On the game of Shannara, I completely burned out because I was the project manager, I was the receptionist, I was the
owner of the company.
the accountant, paying the bills, and writing software and doing production, and it was just too much. And co-writing the game, co-designer, and that was just too much. So I decided on this one that I would not try to do any software engineering, and in some ways it was the right decision. In other ways, yeah, it would have been better if I had been a little more hands-on with it.
Yeah, and we're now at a way with the Summer Days style game. They're where Corey could handle it. If
because there's really minimal programming on Summer Days. But when things go wrong, it helps to know Unity, which I've never learned.
Yep. Code reviews. Yeah.
Code reviews, we need them.
Yeah. Well, at least my code, because I'm writing effectively code, and those do need reviewing.
Yeah, but she doesn't like to be reviewed.
No, I don't like it, but it needs to be done. No one to approve his PR. Yeah, we need a PR person.
I keep running stuff by Lori on that, and she says, just ship it.
Yeah.
Actually, she does minor editing.
Yeah.
Game doesn't get released because code is stuck in PR.
It's actually...
Well, actually, yeah, that's true, because one of the things that happens with, console software is they will announce a game for, say, release date on August 15th. And what that actually means is the game has been completely done and has gone through final testing and everything else by, say, April.
Yeah, and
March
that's
or
why
April.
Corey was going to do this one. We were going to basically have the game done and then 3 months of publicity.
Yeah.
But at this point...
but every time we do that, it turns out there's another 6 months of work to do on it.
Yeah, well, no, it's just that the publicity never got done, so... Therefore, yeah.
Well, I'm putting off the publicity until I think we're 6 months before release.
Yeah,
so.
well, we're
it'll make it out of it. We said it was supposed to be out in summer of 2020, and then it was supposed to be out in summer 2021 and summer of 2022. So maybe we'll make it out by summer 2023.
We will be out by then, Corey. Period. Yes.
It'll be out by fall, but fall's already over. We're now
No,
in
it
winter.
isn't. It's fall, Corey.
Is it fall starts on?
Fall started 2 days ago.
At the equinox. Okay.
Yes. So, all right, fine. There's a reason
we'll be out for Christmas.
PR is a whole industry.
But there's no point in being out for Christmas because then we're competing against all the AAA games that have
It's going to be out in the next
$1
month.
million budgets.
And then, therefore, it needs 1 month of all the publicity you can give it.
Okay.
Yes.
So she says.
Only if you commit to it.
Only if you commit to it.
You need to do it too. So
this is the Corey and Lori Comedy Show.
Only one of us can do it at a time. It doesn't work.
Thank you all for coming.
Bye-bye. See you next time.
And we will end the stream.
Pirate Day.
So, 2 weeks from now, on October 8th, we'll be back.
Yep.
What's our theme?
We will find a theme.
It could be apples,
It's
fall.
It's fall.
Yeah.
Yes. Corey will stand in the corner with a sandwich board advertising Senate. Yeah, that's about it. Happy to share whatever you have
That's
on
the only sandwich board at, Comdex or E3 or PAX, but they'd probably charge me $5,000 to do that.
Yes, really. I would assume Halloween. No, Halloween is another 2 weeks away. We'll do a
different one for
We'll
Halloween.
have a Quest for Glory 4 for Halloween.
Because
yes.
after all, 2 weeks after October 8 is plus 14 is
22nd.
22, which I was just thinking 32. So.
No, it's the 22nd.
That's
So
still
we
early.
will do that. I know, but we can't do it on Halloween.
Quest for Glory 4. Yeah, we tend to do Quest for Glory 4 this time of year,
Yeah.
but we're hilarious. We just can't get along.
Yeah, pumpkin bread time, yes.
Yum,
or
pumpkin bread.
pie that Corey bought.
I bought a pumpkin pie from the store, and Lori tried
like,
one bite of it and
it's
said,
like, whoever buys, pre-made
I was desperate.
pumpkin pie.
I've hinted 27
yes,
times
I
for
know.
Lori to make
You
it.
can always make it yourself, So
Pumpkin
yeah.
spice. I do like pumpkin spice lattes.
Yes, razzle-daddle root.
I make my own pumpkin
Running
spice
late,
lattes.
Italian cheese, so a flash vision. Hope everybody's well and had a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Garlic flavored pumpkin bread. That's actually Roberta
That could work.
made a garlic
That
flavored
could work.
a garlic spread for pumpkin bread.
Pumpkin
Yes.
pie is easy. The real key
Yes,
to
it
pumpkin
is.
pie is warm, And B, C, D, and E is whipped cream, whipped cream, whipped cream, and whipped cream.
Yes, that is the correct way. It's,
So about 4 times as much whipped cream as there is pumpkin pie is the correct ratio.
Yes.
Okay, bye-bye.